Have you ever looked at Scar from Full Metal Alchemist and wondered what all these tattoos really symbolized? I got curious, so I did some research. So we know from the manga and Brotherhood that Scar's brother actually did the research into alchemy and alkahestry that we see on Scar's tattoo. And he placed a lot of emphasis on organizing these two arts into two distinct categories. The positive flow and the negative flow, which sounds a lot like the language used around alkahestry, or construction or reconstruction, which is how we hear a lot of characters talk about the principles of alchemy. And these factors are very present in Scar's tattoo and his story. Okay, first let's take a look at some of the writing. And I will be honest with you, some of this was very difficult to make sense of. Some of it kind of looks like Latin, but it's not quite Latin. At first I thought maybe it was a translation issue, or maybe it's Ishbalan and you and I aren't supposed to understand. Regardless, I kind of had to scour the internet, and some people believe that this may translate to through Adam, the breath of God. So maybe some of that is like a religious justification for alchemy that Scar's brother made. Almost like through Adam or man, God's will can be done. Through alchemy? Maybe? This is pure conjecture, but it is kind of fun to think about, which is why I included it. On to something a little bit more straightforward, Scar's right arm. And throughout the story, it's this arm that's associated with destruction. We see him use it to take down structures and fight against people who eventually become his allies, and even put an end to Nina and Alexander. I'm sorry, but if I had to remember, you have to remember. And on this arm, we see earth and air, and then above that, two scaly-looking creatures in a caduceus pattern. Now, to me, they kind of look like dragons. And we really don't see a lot of dragon imagery in FMA as a whole, so I kind of feel like it's a call to the dragon's pulse, which is a source of power in alkahestry. Finally, we see lots of arrows, and note that they are all facing downward and outward. To me, this symbolizes destruction as a force that's meant to be projected out, which kind of makes sense with Scar and his alchemical style. After all, for most of the story, we only see him utilize half of the alchemical process. He stops after comprehension and destruction, and those are definitely forces you want to send outward and not towards yourself. And this is all that Scar knows until he finally takes a look at the other half of his brother's research, which we can see on his left arm. This is the side that's built for reconstruction. Imagery-wise, it's all fairly straightforward and depicts most of the things we see on the right side. There are some minor modifications though. We see water and fire completing the classical elements. And then, importantly, all the arrows point up, because reconstruction arguably adds to the self. If Roy's story is about redemption and Ed's is about wisdom, then I believe that Scar's is about finding balance and existing in the in-between. In between the old and the new, in between vengeance and mercy, in between construction and deconstruction, literally. All of these factors exist simultaneously within Scar. These factors are here in his tattoo, and I believe they'll continue to guide him. Let me know what I should research next and follow to stay on FMA Talk.